simply because things happened in my life that without those things happening at the exact time, this wouldn't have happened. You know, when I was 6 months old, I had a little accident, ended up getting infected and ended up going to the hospital. And they were talking about doing a tracheotomy on me and really doing some serious surgery. My mom, my grandfather, and my uncle, they prayed. The doctor gave me medicine. 2 hours later, you know, I was doing fine. And my mom said from that day on that she thought that God had something special for me. I don't know if she thought it was this special, but she knew that God had something special for me. You know, I started playing this great game on the playgrounds of Mount Auburn Elementary in Dallas, Texas, and went on to continue playing in jail long Buccaneers. I started with the Buccaneers and I ended with the Buccaneers. But really where I learned how to play this game was on the streets of Culver. Now, if you can imagine this, there's a concrete street and there are two sides, and on each side there was a patch of grass. So we used to call it throw up football. You throw the ball up, whoever gets it, you get the run. Well, if you got on the sideline though, you got tackled. So thinking that, you know, you can grab a ball and run down the sideline and tackle the guy and land on the grass was not the smartest thing in the world. And it is the reason why I have all of these scars and all this. All this happened way before I got into playing real football. But it's because I learned how to juke and dodge guys and stay away from them sidelines. You know, I knew I had great ability and had the ability to make people miss, but we were losing football games. So I said to myself, all this talent must not be that good because we'd be winning football games. When I got to Woodrow Wilson High School, it seemed as if, where's my Wildcats at? Where you at, Wildcats? All right. When I got to Woodrow, it seems like I got faster and the moves got better, but the losing increased. In my 3 years on varsity, I was 4-25-1. And I'm very proud of that one because we worked very hard for that one. You know, the only team we beat every year was Skyline, who was our rival team. And this is where the story starts to become a little improbable. We were playing Skyline my junior year, and the University of Notre Dame came to recruit one of the Skyline's players. They didn't know anything about me. On that particular night, I had a kickoff return for a touchdown, I had a punt return for a touchdown, I had a long punt for a touchdown, a long pass for a touchdown, and I had a long run for a touchdown. Now, that was a great night. Now, if Notre Dame would have came the week before, I scored one touchdown. If they would have came the week afterwards, I didn't score at all.
But God.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I need, a little insert right there. In 27 years of playing football, the only time I scored 4 touchdowns was when Notre Dame came to recruit somebody else. That's a good time to say, but God.
But God.
Won't he do it?
Won't he do it? Well.
After I got a letter from ND, the letters started to pour in. And we did something that's pretty unusual. We chose the University of Notre Dame not because we thought that we could win a championship, but because we thought it can give me a great education. And that decision was the toughest decision I ever made in my life. I was a mama's boy. I wanted to stay in Texas and play football. A lot of things were going on in Texas at that time. But my big brother Don, you know, he knew a lot about Notre Dame football, knew about the educational background, and we made the tough decision to go to the University of Notre Dame. And, you know, when I got there, I wanted to prove to everybody that it was about education. So my very first game, yeah, my Notre Dame people are laughing. My very first game in the Notre Dame uniform, my freshman year, the opening play of the game, I fumbled the opening kickoff. So I told everybody, hey, I told you I was coming here for education, so let's just keep moving on. You know, through my sophomore year, things were going okay. I was playing a little bit. I was on time to graduate, which was the most important thing, and life was just moving on. I didn't know. I thought this was how big-time college football went. This is how it happens. This is the way. You don't play that much. You play a little bit, and you just keep moving on. Well, the coaching staff was fired after that year, and in comes this little 5'8" guy wearing glasses, talks a little funny. Put us through winter ball workouts 5 o'clock in the morning because we all had 8 a.m. classes. I would say something about that to one of my guys over there, but I'm a rookie and I can't say anything to these guys yet. And after 2 days of being in spring ball, once we got in pads, he pulled me over and asked me a litany of questions as far as why wasn't I playing more? Did I get in trouble? Was it grades? Was I on drugs? He was asking me all kinds of questions. I said, no, coach, they just didn't play me. And he told me that he thought I could be the best player in the country. I thought this guy lost his mind. I said, have you been watching my film or whose film have you been watching? Day after day, he would bring me in his office and show me what I was doing on the practice field. Show me what I was doing against defenses and doing things that he hadn't asked me to do. And finally, he said that he told the media that I was the most intelligent football player that he had ever coached. So all the media flocked in from all the country, and they're trying to figure out who this new transfer is, because they knew I wasn't there before. They thought I had transferred into something. And once they figured out it was me, they was like, Tim, what happened? I said, I don't know. He just said it. I'm just doing it. And after a couple of weeks, is he here? I was hoping he was here. After a couple of weeks, I started to get it, and I really felt bad because I felt as if there he is. I felt as if he had more confidence in me than I had in myself. He believed in me more than I believed in myself. So we get into the season my junior year, and it goes great for me, and now I'm following him around like a little puppy dog, trying to figure out he has something else for me to do. My senior year goes great, and I end up winning the Heisman Trophy.
Heisman to the hall, baby.
And I can tell you, without the great Lou Holtz, I would not have won the Heisman Trophy. I would not have been a first-round pick in the NFL. I probably would have got drafted, but I would have just been a guy. I mean, the things that he instilled in me made me a better man. And Coach Holtz, I love you. Just want to say thank you. And God knows, whatever I can do for you, you know I'm there for you. I was drafted by the LA Raiders. Mr. Ron Wolf actually drafted me into the NFL. You know, I don't know what my agent Marvin Demoff did to get me to the Raiders. You know, I heard stories like he told the teams in between that I had an aunt to die in the city or something, and I would have all these, you know, flashbacks if I had to come play there. So, but some kind of way he got me to the Raiders because that was a team that we figured I could excel in. And once I got there, I realized that this game was a little different. I had the great James Lofton there as a wide receiver at the time, and my first day, and Mike Haynes was there also, which was not fun at all, going up against him. You know, my last year at Notre Dame, I was in the wishbone most of the time. So I was used to wearing very big pads. So I came out to practice the first day and I had all these Dunz's pads on it. These things are huge. I mean, they're like Earl Campbell, like huge. And everybody's looking at me laughing like, dude, what are you doing? I said, man, this is how I get down. This is how I play the game. And James Lofton pulled me over and said, this is not going to work, rookie. You got to go back in and change. And I listened to him, and things went well. You know, I had a great rookie year. You know, I broke a lot of records, all that kind of stuff. But the most important thing to me, people were saying because of the Heisman jinx and all that, that maybe I couldn't get it done on that level. And the very first time I touched the ball in the NFL, I returned the kick 97 yards for a touchdown.
To the house.
That was probably the best thing that could happen because all the critics went away, and now it's just a matter of going out and playing football and having a great time. But it's my second year, I was thrown a wrinkle. I got hurt the opening game of the year returning the kickoff. And at this particular point, because of the injury that I had to my knee, the doctors literally told me, we don't know if we can get you walking straight. So playing football may be something that's not in the plans for you anymore. And I was shocked by that, but I worked extremely hard to get back. You know, I knew that if I kept working, that maybe I couldn't be a guy that was 4'3" anymore and had all these great moves. But at the same time, you know, I felt I could play the game and be helpful to a football team. You know, I believe that ends up being the best thing that could have ever happened to me in my career. You know, I had ended up leading the Raiders in receiving because James got hurt and a couple other receivers got hurt. And I ended up leading the team in receptions. I was trying to return punts and kicks and be a receiver. And that's how I was starting out that year. But by that injury happening, all of a sudden, that was all taken away from me. It was taken away from me to the point where Al Davis came to me and said, you're going to be the best third down receiver, punt returner to ever play the game. And I was like, third down receiver, punt returner? Yeah, there's a couple downs missing in that. But that's what he meant. When he said it, he meant it. And for the next 2 years, I never played on first and second down. I only played on third down. I think I caught 18 passes one year, 36 passes the next year. In '92, Mervin Fernandez gets hurt in the middle of the season, and I ended up having to take over for him and played well, and the rest is history, as they say. You know, the next 5 years for me went pretty good. But really the reason why I'm here now and standing on the precipice of going into the NFL Hall of Fame is because of another coach. The silver and black like to call him Chucky. I call him Brewdog. When John came to the Raiders, I was going into my 11th year. And the 4 years I had with him were just incredible years, not just because of the numbers, but because of the games we were playing and the importance of the games. And so it put me out there in a totally different, on a totally different level. To John, I know you were supposed to be here. I hope you're here, man. God bless you. I love you, man. And thank you for everything that you've done. You know, my football story is pretty unique. You know, again, I played 27 years and, you know, I only had one shot at a championship. But I'm very grateful and thankful that I did have that shot. You know, when you get 34, 35, 36 in the league, you stop saying you want to win a championship. You start saying, Lord, let me play in a championship game. And I did have that opportunity, and it wasn't the experience I was looking for, but at the same time, I'm certainly glad that I had that experience. You know, leaving the Raiders was tough. My last year, I ended up playing in Tampa, and I want to thank Gruden and Bruce Allen again for giving me a very soft place to land, because as we all know as players, when you get cut and you have to leave and go home, it's a very difficult thing. But thankfully, Gruden was down in Tampa, and Bruce, and a whole bunch of Raiders. Matter of fact, they started calling Tampa the Raiders of the East Coast. And so I had a very easy place to go and walk out of this game. You know, my football career is great, but again, this would not have happened without so many people. And, you know, some of my high school teammates and friends are here. You know, I want to thank those guys for everything they've done. Some of the great coaches I've had, Tom Clark used to pick me up when I was 12, 13 years old in the summer and make me work out and do all those things. Richard Mason, my high school coach, who unfortunately passed away a couple months ago. The great Leon Hamilton. Coach Ham, I know you're here. If you're here, stand up so the people around you can know who you are. There he is right there. Coach Ham was that coach that kept me motivated. When we were losing all those games in high school, he would always come and be in my ear and tell me, keep playing. Just keep playing. Just keep doing what you can do. And Coach, I really appreciate that. The great Jerry Fowles. Coach, I don't know if you're here, but Jerry, some kind of way, convinced my mom to let me go 1,200 miles away to the University of Notre Dame to play football there. But she had one question for him before I walked out, and that was he